Hello YouTube. Today I will bring you the review and my personal thoughts on the Ruger SR22. The Ruger SR22 is a very nice, in my opinion, 22 long rifle pistol. As you can see, it's a nice size. It's, for me, my personal opinion is that it's not too small and it's not too big. I love the size of this gun. It's a fun gun to shoot. It's definitely something that if you could find a lot of ammo, you could spend all day just shooting this thing at the range. Like I said, that's if you can find a ton of ammo for it. One of the first things that drew me to it is, obviously I like 22 just for the fact that it's fun to shoot, and it's usually pretty cheap. If you can find decent 22 ammo, you can usually get it for less than 10 cents per round, and that makes it a lot cheaper to shoot that than it does some of the other calibers. So that's one of the things that drew me to it. And then second of all, it's a gun that even if you're not that into guns, or someone that isn't, that wants to try it out, such as like your girlfriend or one of your friends or something, it's definitely something that could be a beginner's gun, someone who's never shot before, because the 22 really has no kick at all, and the way this gun is designed, it absorbs a lot of it anyway, so there's really not much to it. So I guess I can just start by talking about a few things about the gun. The gun does come with 2 magazines. Each one of them holds 10 rounds. It comes with a gun lock and a little Ruger zip-up pouch, which I don't have out right now. And it also comes with a spare grip. Basically, originally I thought it was just a spare, but you can pull this off, and there's 2 different sizes. There's a small one, which is about a little bit wider than the barrel without the grip, and then there's this one, which I have on there, which makes it a little bit wider, and for me, it fits perfectly inside my hand. So it's definitely nice to have that. So if you've got a smaller shooter that's going to be primarily using it, you can use the back that's got the that's a little bit skinnier than this one here. Also, the magazines on the bottom, you can see it has this little lip that kind of curls out. There are it comes with extra pieces that you can slide these off and make it go straight across instead of having the little part that curls out. Some people don't like that. I actually like it because, as you can see, without the magazine end, my pinky kind of hangs over, and with the little extension on there, where how it curls out, it adds a little bit of length to it, so I get a pretty much perfect grip on this pistol. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, it's just a personal preference, but something I wanted to mention. I think it's cool that it comes with that. Always, whenever you're handling a firearm, you want to make sure it's unloaded. So just pull the slide back, check inside the barrel, make sure there's nothing there. You can also lock the slide back by pushing up on this little tab, or if the magazines are empty, the slide locks itself back automatically. That way, after you fire your last round, it'll stay locked open, and you won't be able to pull the trigger and accidentally dry fire the pistol, which you never want to dry fire a 22 or any other rimfire cartridge, because if you do, there's a bunch of stuff that can happen. It can either dent the barrel where the firing pin hits it, it can break the firing pin, and ultimately, in the long run, it can, or even the short run, I guess, too, it can ruin your gun completely. So you don't want to break it, so it's, nice little safety feature built in there. Speaking of safeties, this gun does also have a safety. It is ambidextrous. Basically, you just slide this little part up, and you can do it from either side of the gun. And, it's easy enough where you can hold it and flick it up with your, the knuckle of your thumb, or you can come back and push it up with your thumb, or whatever you prefer. So the gun won't fire when it's on safe, obviously, and you can't even lock the hammer back. It'll, just go forward. Also, another interesting thing is that, let's put it in fire. The gun will not fire without a magazine in it. So that's kind of cool. It's a nice safety feature. You take that out, it won't fire no matter what you do. And as soon as you take the safety off, you'll notice that the hammer decocks itself as well. Which brings up an interesting point. The first shot you take with this, if you just flip the safety off and pull the trigger, the first shot will be a very long pull. It'll start up here, and then you'll have to pull all the way back to get it to fire. And then subsequent shots, the trigger will stay right about there, and then you just have, you know, a 1/4 inch of play, and it's a lot easier to shoot. And I'll try to show you why. I'm not going to pull the trigger all the way, but basically, as you can see, the first shot, it has to pull the hammer back on the gun. So the first shot, it's a very long pull. It's a little bit tough because you do have to cock the hammer all the way back, which you can do manually. But once it's cocked back, then it will fire. So the first shot basically cocks it and fires it, and then the recoil will reset the hammer and lock it back, so that subsequent shots are just really short. So that's just one thing to note when you go to shoot this, is that the first shot is always a little bit different than the rest, unless you decide to manually bring the hammer back. But I wouldn't really recommend that because, you know, if your hands are sweaty or the gun is oily or your fingers, you know, kind of lose grip on it. Like if you're holding it like this with your finger completely outside and you're trying to pull it back with this finger here and you slip and pull the trigger, you know, you don't want to discharge this gun accidentally. So it's just, you know, something to watch out for. As far as reloading goes, the magazines have this little tab on them that you can push really from either side. This side's not as big, it's just a little part there. But it makes it really easy to reload. I mean, basically what you do is, as you're putting the rounds in, you pull down a little bit on the little slides, and it makes it easy to get the next round in there. So that way you're not trying to force them in there. You're not going to hurt the ammunition or anything. Just because 22 is a lot smaller caliber. The casings on these are relatively thin. I'm sure if you squeeze it hard enough you could deform the casing. And if it didn't really have that, you know, it might be hard to get those loaded in there. You could affect the casings, you could bend them, you could even break the bullets loose from there. As you can see, like this bullet here, I don't know how it'll show up on camera, but you can see that the tip wiggles a little bit on it. So, I mean, if you're not careful, technically you could break the heads off trying to stick them into the magazines. I've never done it, but it just seems like you can. Some of the ammunition I use doesn't wiggle, but I won't get too much into ammunition in this video. I might talk about a little success or fail with different types of ammo I have here, but I don't really want to get too much into that, because this is more about the gun itself. But that's pretty much the features of the gun. I guess one other thing would be it comes with adjustable sights. I haven't really gone through and adjusted them at all, just because I'm always going through a variety of ammo. If I could stick with the same brand and knew that I would always be able to pick up like CCI or something like that, then you know, I might try to adjust it in. But since all the different ammo that I'm able to get are different types and different grain and stuff like that, there's a whole bunch of unreliability in it. Some of them will shoot certain ways and other ones won't. So without being able to use the same type of ammo, for me it's kind of pointless to try to sight this thing in. It is pretty accurate on its own. I'm not saying that it's not accurate, but it's just, you know, I'm not really going to spend too much time trying to adjust it in, because it's good enough where it is. And like I said, without consistent ammo, then you know, it really doesn't matter how much you try to adjust it. You're never going to get it perfect. But as far as everything on the outside goes, the last thing, whoops, I guess I want to talk about is the magazine release, which is right here. It's on both sides, so once again it's ambidextrous. You can release it from either side. You just push it in and the magazine comes out. So that's pretty cool. One thing to note is that the if I put this on fire, hammer's cocked back. I don't know if I said this, but the gun will not fire without a magazine in it. So even though its safety's off, hammer's cocked, without a magazine in here, it won't fire. So that's another cool safety feature. So really it has two. It's got the manual safety. It's got the long trigger pull for the first shot, and then it's also got without the magazine it won't fire. So that way, if you're trying to clean the gun and you forget that there's a round in there, you won't accidentally. It's not that you won't, because there's always a small possibility somehow that something could go catastrophically wrong and somehow fire the pistol. But the odds of that happening are pretty slim. I won't get too much in depth on breaking this gun down for a quick field stripping. I'll probably do another video of that later on. But it's really simple. Basically, there's this little latch right here. It's like a little lever. You pull it down, it breaks free, and it comes out to like a 90-degree angle. And then you just pull the gun back and then lift up a little bit and then slide it forward, which I'll show in another videos. But it is really easy to take apart and clean. The barrel is fixed to the lower, so it doesn't come free. But the barrel or the slide and everything comes right off, and it's really easy. You can easily clean the barrel. So I'll show that in a future video. But overall, that's pretty much just the outsides of the gun. Like I said, you never want to dry fire these. I've heard a few people say online that if you take spent brass, like if you shoot off a few rounds and save some of the shells, you can stick the shells inside the gun and then close it, making sure that the little indent caused by the previous firing is in a different spot, so it won't hit the same spot, but then you can kind of dry fire it once. I guess someone else said you can get drywall anchors. I forgot what size it was, but you can get drywall anchors and load them in there, and you can fire it a few times and it won't really hurt the gun. So that's something interesting. I'll have to try that out. But as far as performance on this gun, I love this thing. Like I said, I could go to the range and just shoot 1,000 rounds. There's virtually no kick to this thing at all. I mean, the other day I took this to the range with my Glock 22, which is a 40 caliber, and I shot about 100, 150 rounds through that. And I pulled this out and figured, you know what, I'll just throw a few rounds downrange with this, just because I hadn't shot it in a while. And, going from the recoil from the 40 cal to this was nothing. I mean, this literally has no recoil. 22 LR itself has very little recoil, and the gun itself absorbs a lot of the recoil from any of the shots. So even if you went out there, if you had a couple thousand rounds of ammunition, you could probably easily throw that downrange and have no problems. It's not going to hurt your hand because the kick from this thing is so light. It makes it fun because then you can keep it on target without it, moving around too much or anything like that. So it's definitely a fun gun. Like I said, I would recommend this to anyone who wants to purchase something small, maybe for their kids to break them into it, or if they want to get their girlfriend or wife to go shooting with them. Because not saying that children or women can't fire bigger calibers, but if they've never done it before, shooting something like a 45 or even a 9mm is a lot more powerful than this, and it might discourage them, because of the sound and stuff like that. So the 22 is a lot quieter. There's not no kick, but there's virtually no kick. So it's definitely a great starter pistol, in my opinion. And something else that's kind of cool about it too is it is small enough so that if you wanted to, you could conceal carry this gun. And that was another thing I liked about it. With the magazine in it, it's not too heavy. You could easily get a pocket holster. I know for guys' jeans, this would easily fit in the pants, in the pocket of some of my pants, as well as like if I have cargo shorts on or something like that. Even ladies, if you want to carry something like this, you could easily throw it in your purse or something like that. I wouldn't say that the 22 is an excellent caliber for shooting and personal protection, but if I had to carry this or nothing, I would definitely take this. Because there are some types of ammunition that would be a better choice than some of the other ammunition out there. So I'm not saying it would be the best choice by any means, but if it's something you feel comfortable with and you like it, then you could definitely. I would rather have this than anything else. I mean, a lot of people will argue about that, but the way I look at it is, if you're in a situation where you have to defend your life, anytime you pull a gun on someone, whether it's a 22 or a 45. I mean, they're not really going to sit there long enough and say, oh, well, that's just a 22 caliber pistol. That's not going to do much to me. I'm just going to rob them anyways. Odds are, if you pull a gun on someone, they're going to realize that, oh crap, this is not good for me, and they're going to turn around and run away. So I don't really care what it is you have. If you pull a pistol on someone, like if you're getting attacked by a knife, or just getting beaten up, or whatever it is that you do that's happening to you that you feel like your life is in danger, and you pull this out, it really doesn't matter what it is. It's still a gun. It's still going to go bang. It's still going to shoot bullets, and it still could kill people. I know there's been stories all over about 22 taking down a lot of different types of animals and stuff like that. I've heard stories of a bear getting killed with 22. I mean, it's not very likely, but I mean, I guess anything's possible. It's all about shot placement at that point. But like I said, the magazines hold 10 rounds, plus you can keep one in the chamber, so 11 rounds. And like I said, if you're getting mugged or something like that, or attacked, or you're defending yourself, 11 shots is still going to send the message of, you better get away. And, if they're still coming at you after that, then something's definitely wrong. You just need to get out of there. But obviously, physical violence with firearm stuff is always a last resort. It's something you never really want to do. But if it's your only option, like I said, I'd rather have this than anything. Which I guess I could kind of talk briefly on ammunition. As you can see here, I've got a ton of different types of ammunition, and that's just because I kind of pick it up whenever it's on sale. It's really, really hard to find 22 ammunition right now. And, like I said, when you can find it, you can get some really good deals on it. You can get stuff for 6 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents, stuff like that per round. So it's really affordable, but it's really hard to get. And that's why I have such a variety here, because anytime that something gets in stock, I try to pick up a few cases or whatever I can get a hold of at the time. So I guess I can start going through some of the stuff I've had on the table here and tell you kind of my success or failure stories with them. So I guess I'll start off with the Remington Golden Bullets. These are more than likely what you're going to be able to find. A lot of times they'll come in little packages like this, or you can get it in a bucket. But Golden Bullets are, pretty much, I know there's worse ammunition out there, but this is about as crappy as I'll go. This stuff here, it's a really weird ammunition. The bullets are coated in like a gold powder on the tip, and it gets very messy. So if you've got a bucket and you're digging out bullets, loading up your magazines, by the time you're done shooting, your hands will be covered in a gold film, and it's kind of nasty. And these bullets themselves are cheap. A few times at the range, I've probably shot about 500 of these or so through the SR22, and I've had a couple times where they get stuck in the barrel and don't eject, so I have to pry them out, and that's because the casing's actually cracked on them. Like, it cracked from the tip of the casing all the way to the back, or almost all the way to the back, and it got enlarged enough where it got stuck in the barrel. And I've had a bunch of failures to fire, failure to eject, failure to feed with those. It's a good round if you just want to blow off a bunch of them, but you have to be ready to expect that you're going to run into a few issues with them. So like I said, that's about as cheap as I go. I know there's a lot of other rounds that are probably worse, but for me, anything worse than that is just not gonna, I'm not gonna deal with it. I'd still buy it if I could, just because it is something that if you just want to go blow off a bunch of rounds, it's something to do. But it is dirty. You do have to clean your gun extra well at the end. So the next one I have here is the Remington 22 Viper. A lot of times you'll see them in a little pack like this, or even in a plastic case of, I don't know, like 100. It's about that big. I don't know. But these are actually pretty good. They are a lot higher power than the Golden Bullets, and overall they're a lot different bullet. These, I don't know exactly what they're rated for, but these are actually pretty reliable. They've got a lot of power. You can definitely feel a little more kick in the gun. I can't really say I had too many problems with this one. It fed through the SR22 perfectly. There might have been a few failures to eject or something like that, but I mean, it is 22. You're going to have that happen a lot which that is something I want to say right up front, is that if you have a lot of problems with the gun, or it doesn't feed, or doesn't eject, or stuff like that, it's not the gun. This gun is a beast. I mean, this thing will eat pretty much any kind of ammunition that you throw through it. It's just some of the cheaper ammunition doesn't have as much power to it, so it won't kick the slide back all the way. So a lot of times it'll get stovepiped coming out of the barrel, or it just won't feed the next round, because even though it can kick the round out, it doesn't have enough force to push it the rest of the way back and load the next round in. So it's definitely not the gun. It's 90% of the time, or 99% of the time, it's going to be the ammunition. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't get frustrated if you're using it and you have a bunch of failures to fire, failure to eject. I mean, it's definitely the ammo. So if you keep having those problems, try a different brand and see if that makes a difference, because I know for me it did. So I guess getting back to the ammunition, the next step up from the Remingtons, I would say closer to being my favorite would be the Federal ammunition. A lot of times you'll find it in these bulk packs here with the 525 rounds. I also found this American Eagle Federal ammunition. I haven't actually fired this one yet through the gun. I just picked this up not too long ago. But it is copper plated, 38 grains. And Federal usually does make pretty good ammunition. The bulk stuff and other stuff that I've used from them, it's good ammo. It's good ammo, but there are still going to be failures to feed, failures to eject, because it is bulk ammo. It's not the highest quality, but you know what? I would use this stuff if I had a choice between the Federal and the Remington Golden Bullets. I would take Federal every time, just because I've had a lot better luck with it. Maybe 1 out of every 10 Federal rounds will fail to feed, but then like the Golden Bullets is like 1 out of 5. Like I said, I don't have the exact numbers because I haven't really kept track of that stuff. I'll try to do that going forward for you guys, but it's not that bad. Like I said, Federal that I've used so far has been great target range ammunition. This is something that you really aren't going to have too many problems with. So I would use the Federal over the Remington Golden Bullets, or even really the Vipers any day, just because I kind of like that ammunition better. It seems to work well with the gun. And then finally, it brings me up to my last higher class of ammo, which is going to be the CCI. I have tried a bunch of different types of ammo, and I absolutely love any of the CCI products. Anytime I can find CCI, I'm picking it up, just because I've hardly ever had any problems with it. The power seems fine. I've never had any duds. I don't really have too many failures to feed or failures to eject with CCI. I really can't remember ever having problems with it. I mean, for the most part, when I put this stuff in the gun, it cycles perfectly. This one over here, the AR Tactical, I actually just picked that up the other day. I haven't fired that through the SR22. It is supposed to be better for AR-22 rifles, which I do have one. So, kind of excited to see how that's going to work in the gun itself. But it is CCI, so I'm sure it'll be fine. My favorite ammo to shoot from CCI would probably be the CCI Mini Mags. It's just all-around excellent ammunition. It cycles perfectly through the SR22. Cycles perfectly through my Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. So, it's excellent rounds for the range. I've hardly had any problems at all with it. Even in the SR22, I've cycled a bunch of the CCI subsonic ammo. It's a lot quieter, a lot less kick, but it still cycles through the round, or through the gun perfectly. It is only lead tipped. It's not copper plated at all, but it is subsonic, and it's actually like I said, it's been a perfect ammunition. Maybe just because it is CCI, but I haven't had any problems with this really. And the last one I have here is CCI Stingers. This is 22 LR copper plated hollow points, 32 grain. So this would be something I would actually consider putting in the gun if I were to conceal carry it. It's got a lot of power, and it's just something that if I had to defend myself, I would probably put this in there, or I might even do a mix of this and the mini mag or something like that, just to get a little bit of power inside of there. Like I said, CCI is extremely reliable. Anytime I go to the store and I see CCI, I'm always picking it up, just because, like I said, I've had such a high success rate on there. But Yeah, overall, like I said, this thing will pretty much eat any ammunition you put through it. It just, you might have a few issues where you have to rack it to get the next round of feed and stuff like that, just because it might not be powerful enough. But overall, I haven't really had any problems with ammunition and the pistol. I mean, it'll pretty much eat anything. I've seen some 22s that are really finicky on ammo, so that kind of sucks. And that was another thing that brought me to this, was that you can find such a variety of ammunition for it. So I thought that was really cool. So that's pretty much all I can say about ammunition. Like I said, it's all going to be trial and error, and it's all going to be different depending on each user. You know, ammunition varies between batches and everything, so you know, you might have federal ammunition that, you know, has a bunch of problems with it, and then a couple months later you buy a box and you might not have a single problem with it. So you know, same goes for any ammunition. But like I said, the CCI I find works a lot better. All the ammunition is always separated. As you can see, like the individual cartridges are separated so they're not squishing together, deforming or denting the cases or anything like that. So that's maybe one thing that helps compared to some of the bulk ammo, or even like these boxes where they're all kind of squished together in a little package. So maybe that's the reason why I've had such high success rates with the CCI. But I guess back to the gun. Like I said, it's very fun. It's very reliable. It's something you could definitely go to the range all day. Wouldn't hurt your hand. Great for concealed carry if this is something you'd feel comfortable carrying. So it's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend this gun to anyone. Even if you're even if you have a bunch of higher caliber pistols and you're, you know, comfortable shooting those, this is just something fun that you could just bring to the range. You know, a lot of people don't know exactly what it is. It looks like a full-size gun, but it's really just a 22. It's just a lot of fun. So if you have 22 ammunition that you can get a hold of easily and you just want to have some fun with it, I would say pick it up. Like I said, if I had a choice between the 22 pistols, which I did, I would definitely get this one. I wouldn't say I would get a second one of them, just because one's enough for me. I mean, 22 ammunition is hard enough to find. There's no point in shooting it twice as fast. I might pick up a few more magazines for it, but overall, like I said, the gun's easy to carry, easy to clean, easy to shoot, and it's just a ton of fun. So I hope this video helped you guys decide whether or not you want to get the SR22. But like I said, I would highly recommend it. Even if you have a big gun collection, it's always fun to have a nice little small caliber gun that you can take out just to the range, just to blow off a bunch of rounds and have some fun with it. So that's my thoughts on it. If you guys have anything or see anything that I missed or forgot to cover, or if you have any questions about the gun, definitely let me know, and I'll try to answer your questions. I'll try to get some videos of it firing in the range, in case you want to see how it operates and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to stay tuned for more videos. Like I said, I'll probably be doing another video here soon of the field stripping of the SR22, just to show you guys how to quickly clean it, and you know, examine it, make sure it's not having any issues internally and stuff like that. But it's really simple, and I'll have that up for you soon. If you like my videos, please subscribe. It'll help me to continue doing what I'm doing here. If you guys have any suggestions or things you want to see in future videos, definitely leave it in the comments. You know, I'd love seeing feedback from different people, so definitely make sure to leave that down there as well. Let me know how I'm doing, and you know, like I said, subscribe, like, favorite, do whatever you want. Just let me know how you guys are liking these videos, and as long as you guys keep liking them, I'll keep putting it out for you. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.